Brothers and sisters, loneliness is one of the greatest struggles of our time. We live in a world where people are connected by phones, by social media, by technology, yet so many hearts feel empty. You can have hundreds of followers, thousands of contacts, endless conversations online, but still feel deeply alone when you put the phone down. Loneliness is not only about being physically alone, it is about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected. And this is not something new. Even in the time of the Prophet, people struggled with isolation, with sadness, with the feeling of being left out. But what makes Islam so beautiful is that it provides us with guidance and wisdom on how to deal with that emptiness. When we look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, we see that he knew what loneliness felt like. He was born an orphan, losing his father before he was even born, and losing his mother as a child. He knew the pain of loss, the pain of being alone in the world, and later in life, as he carried the message of Islam, he experienced the loneliness of being rejected, ridiculed, and abandoned by his people. Yet, through all of this, he showed us how to find strength, connection, and peace, even in the moments of deepest isolation. His life becomes a guide for all of us who struggle with loneliness today. First cure that Islam gives us for loneliness is the reminder that we are never truly alone. Even if every person abandons us, Allah is with us. Even when the world feels silent, He hears every whisper of our heart. Even when no one notices our tears, He sees them. This is a powerful shift in perspective, because loneliness becomes less heavy when we realize that our Creator is closer to us than anyone else could ever be. The Prophet taught us that turning to Allah in those moments of emptiness is not just an act of faith, it is an act of healing. It fills the void with remembrance, with prayer, with supplication, and with hope. But Islam also recognizes that human beings need human connection. We were not created to live in isolation. The Prophet said that the believer to the believer is like a building, each part supporting the other. That means Islam encourages us to seek companionship, to build bonds of brotherhood and sisterhood, to invest in community. When you are feeling lonely, one of the cures is to reach out to others, to serve them, to be part of something bigger than yourself. Loneliness often grows when we retreat inward, but Islam teaches us to step outward, to engage, to care, and to love for others what we love for ourselves. Look at how the Prophet built his community. He made everyone feel seen and valued. Whether it was the poor, the orphan, the stranger, the outcast, he gave them attention, dignity, and belonging. He greeted people with warmth, he smiled, he listened with full attention. For someone feeling invisible or insignificant, that small act of recognition was a cure for loneliness, and he encouraged us to do the same, to spread peace, to smile, to check in on each other, to visit the sick, to comfort the grieving. These simple acts create a web of connection that protects hearts from isolation. Another cure for loneliness in Islam is purpose. Many times, loneliness feels heavier when life feels meaningless. But Islam gives every believer a purpose that is greater than themselves. Your value is not determined by how many friends you have, or how many people call you, or how many likes you get online. Your value is in your relationship with Allah and your role in serving His creation. The Prophet showed us that even when people abandoned him, he never abandoned his mission. He kept moving forward because his purpose was bigger than his pain. When you live with purpose, you stop measuring your worth by who is around you and start measuring it by what you are contributing to the world. That purpose becomes an anchor in times of loneliness. Brothers and sisters, another piece of prophetic wisdom is gratitude. Loneliness often makes us focus on what we do not have, the friends we wish were there, the family we miss, the company we crave, but gratitude shifts our focus to what we do have. The Prophet taught us to appreciate the small blessings, the simple joys, the moments of connection we might overlook. Gratitude softens the ache of loneliness because it reminds us that we are never completely deprived. Even in moments of isolation, there are blessings around us if we choose to see them. Let us also remember that loneliness is not always a curse. Sometimes it is a gift, The prophet would retreat in solitude to reflect, to worship, to reconnect with his soul and with Allah. Those moments of being alone became sources of clarity and strength for him. Loneliness can teach us to be comfortable with ourselves, to nurture our inner world, to deepen our spirituality. Instead of running from every quiet moment, Islam teaches us to embrace solitude as an opportunity for growth. The difference is whether we use our loneliness to draw closer to Allah or let it drag us into despair. Brothers and sisters, in our time, loneliness has become one of the greatest causes of depression and anxiety. People feel disconnected despite living in crowded cities, but Islam's wisdom is timeless. It tells us, stay connected to Allah, build meaningful ties with people, live with purpose, practice gratitude, and embrace moments of solitude as opportunities. And most importantly, it tells us to be there for each other. You may not realize how much a smile, a call, a visit, or a kind word can mean to someone. You may not know that your small gesture is the rope that pulls them out of the pit of loneliness. This is why the Prophet emphasized mercy, compassion, and community. So if you are feeling lonely today, remember that your Creator is always with you. Remember that you are part of a faith that values community and compassion. Remember that your purpose is greater than your pain. And remember that every struggle you face is a chance to come closer to Allah. Loneliness may be one of the hardest feelings to bear, but with prophetic wisdom, it can be transformed into an opportunity for connection, for purpose, and for growth. My dear brothers and sisters, do not let loneliness convince you that you are worthless. Do not let it tell you that you are forgotten. You are remembered by Allah, you are seen by Him, and you are valued beyond measure. Use your moments of loneliness as moments of remembrance, as moments of service, and as moments of self-discovery. In doing so, you will find that what felt like emptiness can become the beginning of healing, strength, and closeness to Allah. Loneliness is one of those feelings that can make the heart heavy, the mind restless, and the soul unsettled. It is the whisper inside of us that says no one notices us, no one understands what we are going through, and no one truly cares. Sometimes it comes when we are physically alone, and sometimes it comes even when we are surrounded by people. You could be in a room full of friends or family, and yet feel like no one really sees your pain. No one really knows the depth of what you are carrying inside. That feeling of being invisible, of being forgotten, of being unseen, is what makes loneliness so difficult. But what Islam reminds us is that those whispers of abandonment are not the whole truth. Even if every person in this world were to walk away from you, your Creator does not. Even if every door is closed in your face, the door to Him is always open. Even if no one notices the tears that fall silently at night, He is the one who sees them. Even if no one hears the heavy sigh that escapes your chest when you are overwhelmed, He is the one who hears it before you even release it. This is the cure to the lie of loneliness. You are never truly alone, because the one who created you, the one who sustains you, the one who loves you more than anyone else ever could, is always with you. The human heart naturally craves connection. We were created to love and to be loved, to feel belonging, to be valued, and when that is missing, it hurts. But brothers and sisters, the danger is that we sometimes measure our worth only by how people treat us, by how many friends we have, by who calls us, by who checks in on us. And when those numbers are small, we let ourselves believe that we are worthless. But the truth that Islam teaches us is that your worth is not defined by people's attention. It is defined by Allah's attention. People may overlook you, people may underestimate you, people may leave you behind, but Allah never does. He is closer to you than anyone else could ever be, and His closeness is worth more than all the company in the world. Think of how powerful this reminder is when you feel lonely. Imagine sitting alone and remembering that Allah sees you in that moment. Imagine walking through your day and realizing that every step you take is witnessed by Him, every thought in your mind is known to Him, every struggle in your heart is understood by Him. That realization alone can turn loneliness into comfort because it shifts the focus from who is absent to who is present. People may not be there, but Allah always is, and His presence is not distant or vague. It is real, it is intimate, it is constant. Brothers and sisters, many of us seek to fill the void of loneliness with distractions. We scroll endlessly through social media, we surround ourselves with noise, we drown ourselves in entertainment, hoping that the ache will go away. But the truth is, those things may distract us for a while, but when the screen turns off and the room grows quiet, the loneliness returns, often heavier than before. That is because the only true cure for loneliness is connection with the one who can never leave us. When you turn to Him in prayer, when you whisper your fears, your hopes, your pain to Him, when you remember Him with your heart and your tongue, you are not just performing a ritual, you are soothing the ache of loneliness with His closeness. Every tear that falls is not wasted. Every moment of sadness is not unseen. Allah, in His mercy, treasures those moments when His servant turns back to Him. When you feel abandoned, that is your chance to experience the reality that Allah never abandons. When you feel like no one understands you, that is your chance to experience the comfort of knowing that He understands you even better than you understand yourself. When you feel invisible, that is your chance to experience the reality that you are fully seen, completely known, and infinitely valued by Him. Brothers and sisters, remember that even the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, experienced moments of deep loneliness. He was an orphan, he was rejected by his people, he was abandoned by some who were close to him, yet in those moments he found strength in the nearness of Allah. His solitude became a place of connection. His isolation became a place of revelation. That is a lesson for all of us, that sometimes what feels like loneliness is actually an opportunity to deepen our relationship with Allah. Instead of seeing it only as a burden, see it as an invitation. An invitation to pour your heart out to the one who is always listening. An invitation to discover a closeness that no human companionship could ever provide. So if today you feel like no one is checking in on you, no one is reaching out, no one sees the pain you carry, let this reminder settle in your heart. Allah sees you, Allah knows you, and Allah cares for you more than anyone else ever could. If the world turns its back, His face is always turned toward you. If people forget you, He never forgets. If you feel like you are walking alone, remember that His angels surround you, His mercy covers you, His knowledge encompasses you. You are never abandoned, you are never forsaken, and you are never truly alone. Brothers and sisters, the whispers of loneliness try to convince you that you are forgotten, but the truth of faith reminds you that you are remembered. You are remembered in the heavens every time you mention His name, every time you raise your hands, every time you bow your head. You are remembered by the one who matters most, and that remembrance is enough to turn loneliness into peace, emptiness into fullness, isolation into connection. So do not despair. In the stillness of your loneliness, Allah is there, and in His presence your heart can find the comfort it has been longing for all along. One of the struggles of the modern age is that many of us are surrounded by more people than ever, yet so many hearts feel emptier than ever. We measure our lives by numbers, how many friends we have, how many likes we get, how many people remember our birthday, how many calls and messages come to us. And when those numbers are low, when people forget us, when friends move on, when we are left alone, we begin to feel worthless. We start to believe that if others don't see us, then maybe we don't matter. That feeling of loneliness can weigh so heavily on a person's heart that it begins to break them inside. But Islam changes that perspective completely. It reminds us that our worth was never tied to people's attention in the first place. Our worth is defined by the one who created us, the one who gave us life, the one who never forgets us even when the entire world does. Loneliness is real, it hurts, and no one should ever pretend it doesn't. But sometimes what feels like loneliness is actually a hidden gift. It is space to discover yourself, to reflect on who you are, to realize that your purpose is greater than just being noticed by people. It is an invitation to turn inward, to ask what really gives your life meaning. When the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, would withdraw from society to spend nights in solitude, it was in that very state of being alone that clarity and strength came to him. That solitude became the moment of revelation, the moment that changed the course of history. His loneliness was not a weakness, it became the space where Allah prepared him for something greater. In the same way, when we go through loneliness, it does not mean that we are forgotten or useless. It can be a chance to realign our hearts, to turn away from the distractions that often fill our lives, and to connect deeply with our Creator. Think about how many times in your own life you have been pulled into gatherings, conversations, or friendships that left you feeling drained rather than fulfilled. Sometimes being surrounded by people can actually make you feel more distant from your true self. But when you are alone, when you are sitting with your thoughts, when you are sitting with your Lord, you begin to hear the things that are usually drowned out by noise. You begin to see the truths that are often hidden by the crowd. Brothers and sisters, loneliness can be painful, but pain itself can become a teacher. Pain has the ability to push us to places we would never go if we were comfortable. Pain forces us to grow, to search, to discover. If every moment of your life was filled with company and laughter, you might never learn how strong you are on your own. You might never realize the depth of your relationship with Allah. You might never discover your real purpose. But when you are alone, when the phone is silent, when no one is knocking on your door, that is when you realize you still have one who never leaves you, and that is when you realize that your value is not in how many people surround you, but in how connected you are to Him. So, the next time loneliness tries to whisper to you that you are worthless, answer it with the truth. Your worth is not in the eyes of people, it is in the sight of Allah. People's eyes can turn away, people's attention can fade, people's hearts can change. But Allah's love for you is constant, His attention is eternal, His knowledge of you is complete. And when He values you, when He accepts you, when He raises your rank, it doesn't matter who overlooks you in this world. The Prophet reminded us that sometimes Allah conceals the righteous people of this world, people who may seem insignificant, unnoticed, and small in the eyes of others, but who are so beloved to Him that He raises them high on the day of judgment. That is why loneliness should not pull you down into despair, it should push you up into purpose. When you are alone, use that time not to pity yourself, but to build yourself. Read, learn, reflect, pray, dream, plan. Turn your isolation into a workshop for growth. Think of it like planting seeds in the quiet soil of your heart. Those seeds may not be seen by anyone now, but one day, when the time is right, they will grow into something beautiful. And that beauty will not only benefit you, but may benefit countless others. How many great scholars, writers, thinkers, and leaders throughout history found their clarity in solitude. How many people discovered their calling not in a crowd, but in silence. And brothers and sisters, never forget that even if people do not recognize your worth to Allah is greater than you can imagine. He sees your efforts, He sees your struggles, He sees the nights you spend alone wishing someone would understand. He knows your heart even better than you know it yourself. So instead of seeing loneliness as a prison, see it as an opening. See it as a chance to turn to Him with a heart unburdened by people's expectations. See it as a chance to pour yourself into your purpose without distraction. At the end of the day, you were not created to be validated by people, you were created to serve Allah. People's validation is temporary, it shifts with moods and seasons. Allah's validation is eternal, so when loneliness strikes, remind yourself that it is not proof that you are forgotten. It is a reminder that you are being redirected to the one who will never abandon you. redirected to the one who values you beyond measure, redirected to the one who can turn your loneliness into strength, your emptiness into fulfillment, and your isolation into purpose. So do not waste those lonely hours. Do not drown them in distractions that only deepen the void. Instead, embrace them as moments to rise. Rise in your worship, rise in your knowledge, rise in your character, rise in your purpose. Loneliness is not the end, it can be the beginning of knowing yourself, the beginning of knowing your Lord, the beginning of a new chapter in your life that is built not on needing people, but on needing Allah. And when you live with that mindset, you will find that even when you are alone, you are never truly lonely, because your heart is full of Him.